Must be haunted by brakes this year. So the 95, it's actually pretty good pad on it. This rotor doesn't look that old, but this one does. It's got quite a ridge, and there's some, I don't know if you can see it. See the separation and the blistering right there in between. So that rotor is collapsing, and what it's doing, it's making the brake shudder when you put your foot on it. So I got to put some brakes on it. So I got some rotors, hopefully. You never know. Rotor on this side, brake pads. I'll grease it, change oil. I had an oil leak. There was 2 bolts on the oil pan that were scary loose on the back corners on this side. So I tightened them up. We'll see, because it's a son of a gun to change the pan on this. You got to pull the crossover off, and you'd have to jack the motor up, pull the motor up, unhook the radiator, pull the whole thing up, unhook everything. Use cherry picker to pick it up, and hopefully you can slide it past the rear sump on the oil pump. So I got to do some cleanup on the wheels. Safety first. And so I picked up a trailer hitch, because this one just had a bumper hitch. They must have had some wiring under here at one time for it. It's still there. I will heat this up and get this off. Pretty rusty. I believe I got to drill some holes on this, because it's I don't see any holes on this one at all, or modifications. I don't think that really fits mine, but says it does. We'll give it a whirl. My back bumper on that F-150 is kind of low. Boy, that's pretty close. We'll see where it is. I think I'm gonna have to cut this and raise it. Don't really want to, but maybe I'm wrong. It's supposed to fit this truck. Yeah, so I'll bring you back when I get some brakes on it. 1 ton's out of here. Sitting over here. So in the winter, I got to pick the tailgate off, and I'm getting kind of old and fat and stupid and all that good stuff. So I had some old shackles. So I cut them off, drilled holes, and didn't clean it up too good, but got her welded. So I can put straps to that, turn the bucket over, run a chain through it, just pick it off out of the way. I also added some backup lights. So the original stock ones aren't the brightest. So these are LEDs that came actually bonus. I added them to inventory. They came on that F-150. So they were on the front on a toggle switch. I didn't really want them, so I saved them, and we put them on the back of that. The only problem I had is when I would hook when I hooked them into the backup lights that were there, the LEDs were drawing too much juice, and it kept popping the reset on the backup sensor in the shifter. So I didn't want to stress that too much, so I put them on. So they have a group, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 on it for extra powers on the dash. It's a toggle switch, you flip it up. So the power to the sander's on one, the power to the blade is on another, and now the third one is the power for the backup lights. So if it's dark out and I need some extra lights other than what's on the sander for backup lights, I can flip that on and get some more halogen light behind us. So, okay, I'll bring you back when I got some. I'd like to try to clean up these wheels a little bit. I got to clean up the mess I've had doing all the welding and then getting the truck switched around. Non-lighted, lighted. And I just checked it and they work. So I'm going to pull this apart. I'm going to scuff it and shoot it, and then put that on, so I'll have a little lighted visor on the F-150. So yeah, so here I go. See you soon.